So we are very happy today together at the library of the Hang Seng University of Hong Kong. Welcome all the students, staff, and guests coming over, as well as those online. So we also have an online, which is a broadcast, live to international audience. So today we have a honorable guest from Italy, Mr. Federico Grandesso. And Mr. Grandesso is a council member of the Fellini Foundation. And you know that Federico Fellini, also Federico, is a famous Italian film director. And this year is his 30th anniversary of his death. I think he passed away in 1993. And the foundation actually organized a very special exhibition in Sion, Switzerland, on the last drawings by Fellini. So I think it's a very timely and appropriate occasion that we host this talk by Mr. Grandesso about the drawings of Fellini, showing the artistic side of the master beyond, the sector on film, right? And we are very lucky actually with this invitation because our colleague, Mr. Mauro Righi, is a friend of Mr. Grandesso, and through Mauro, actually, we get connection. And I'm very glad also to say that very recently, we signed an agreement with the foundation. So now, Hang Seng University Art and Design has an agreement with the Fellini Foundation in terms of collaboration, student exchange, student internship, and so on. So we really look forward, to the ongoing collaboration between our two institutions. So I have the pleasure to invite Mauro to introduce our speaker. So please.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being here. I see many people. It's wonderful. And it is a pleasure and an honor to have my friend here from Italy. And I've been knowing him for a long time. And his career is quite impressive. And it's really a great opportunity for our department, for the university, for all of you to have him, so to say, on board. Because the Fellini Foundation has quite extensive documentations, not just about the maestro, but also about many other film directors, and not only film and movie directors. So I encourage you, if in the future, or maybe this year, you want to start, let's say, a research about movie making, about Fellini, or about other movie directors, well, you could ask directly to my friend, because he could help you for your research. Maybe it's going to be the BA thesis, maybe it's going to be the master thesis. This is something that the foundation has been involved with other universities and with other students worldwide. So this is not just a conference. This is not just a presentation. This could be for you, for some of you, the beginning of a journey into the knowledge of Fellini, but also the movie making in general. So without further ado, I would like then Federico to start to present his material, which I believe you are going to like and you're going to be intrigued by it. Thank you so much, Federico, for being here, and for Professor Desmond to introduce and giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here after so many years. I was in Hong Kong last time in January 2020, and there were some signs already that something was starting. And now I'm back here. I'm very happy, really. Thank you, Mauro, for your introduction. It's important to say that the Fellini Foundation has 20,000 documents about cinema, more 10,000 documents about Fellini. We have sketches, drawings, original scenario, articles, even parts of decoration of films. So the material is very large, also for research, and very diverse, very interesting, I would say. We don't have only, if we are not a cathedral of Fellini, I always say. We have 10,000 documents also of other directors. So Bertolucci, we have Jean-Jacques Annaud, The Name of the Rose. You have to know that we did an exhibition about that in our headquarters in Sion. So, and we also organized an exhibition a few years ago about animation, film animation, where we invited the two Oscar-nominated directors. And we organized a series of exhibitions about photography. So if somebody of you is interested about photography, you can explore this, because this exhibition was dedicated also to students. We got 3 exhibitions, Vision 1, 2, and 3, which were dedicated to the students. So we work a lot with the students. So, and we work a lot with universities. In my catalog, I will show you later, there is also a collaboration with a professor of Singapore, NTU, because we want to develop a collaboration with Hong Kong also from the research point of view, materials. So we would like Hang Seng University to be part of our journey, to be part of our publications. And then there are, as Mauro said, the possibility also to do some online internships. If somebody is interested, maybe you can talk to me later and we can see how we can establish this program. And today I'm going to talk to you. First of all, I am the director of Fellini Foundation for Asia, so I cover all Asia and Middle East. And my goal is mainly to organize exhibitions with Italian institutions and Swiss institutions, because we are based in Switzerland, but also to present Fellini in the universities. This is very important. My president always say that we have to talk to the students and present Fellini to the students, because they are really the future. So this is a priority for us. That's why we established our first partnership in 2015 in Singapore. Then we are developing other partnership now in Asia. So today I'm going to talk to you about Federico Fellini, not as the film director, but as the drawer, artist, cartoonist. Obviously, you have to imagine that the first form of art that Fellini was investigating is exactly this one, the caricature and design. And it's incredible to say that Fellini died in 1993, as we said. It was the last form of art that he was performing in the hospital where he was in Ferrara. So he started his life as a drawer, and he finished his life as a drawer as well. So this is something quite interesting for a movie director. I think it's the only case. So he started in Rimini. Fellini was born in Rimini. Rimini is a very nice beach city in the north east of Italy. Anybody knows Rimini? Rimini? No. It's a very nice city to visit, also because they opened recently the Fellini Museum. That's why we push a lot Fellini, which is one of the only museum dedicated to a movie director. I know there is a Fellini museum about Chaplin in Switzerland, but the museum open in Rimini is the only one. So I really encourage you to go to Rimini and visit this new museum. There's also a nice contemporary art museum in Rimini as well, so you can have it. So Fellini, since he was a young boy, he immediately showed to the mother his he was really happy to draw, and he started drawing since he was a child. He didn't have a formal education on this, so he was doing by himself, and but he had good masters. The first master is Demos Bonini. Demos Bonini and Fellini, they were working together. They opened a shop in the center of Rimini called Febo, Febo, so the initials of the two. And they were working for the Fulgor cinema. The Fulgor cinema is the cinema where Fellini was going when he was a child, and it was the place where Fellini was really fascinated about cinema for the first time. So if you go to Rimini, go to the Fulgor, because it's really one of the focal point of Fellini life. So in this shop, they were making some caricature about the characters, cinema characters. So their goal, they were working for Fulgor. Their goal was to make caricature that would have been used to attract the visitors and enjoy the visitors. So this is okay. So this is the first period of Fellini life with Mr. Bonini. Then obviously, as you know probably, Fellini was a little bit tired of Rimini, because Rimini is a very provincial city. You cannot do so much. And so Fellini wanted to do the big jump and go to the city which is iconic in Italy for cinema, Roma, the capital city, obviously. And in Rome, he met a very curious painter, Mr. Caporetto, which had this strange beard colored like the Italian flag. And they started a shop as well, called Funny Face. And in that shop, they were doing caricature as well for the American soldiers in Rome. So as you can see, this is the second important meeting for Fellini, where he met really an important person who could guide him to paint and to... The Fellini drawings were not always the same. Basically, we have two periods from 37 to 47, 1937, 47. This is the first period where Fellini did mainly caricature. And in the very first period, we can say that the style of Fellini was very diverse. while in the second part, Fellini's style was very much going to the caricature direction, with the very quirky characters, with very strange faces, pointed faces. And while in the first part, Fellini was a little bit more gentle. We are going to see also, I brought the catalog for the first time. You are going to see it was just released a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, this catalog. So you're going to see how Fellini, the drawings of Fellini are more detailed in the first part, and then they are more like abstract and more in the direction of the caricature. So you have the first period of Fellini, where he was working for Il Corriere dei Piccoli, Marco Aurelio, different magazines. So Fellini was having a lot of work, not only in his atelier, in his shop, but he was working a lot with the magazines. So this is very important to understand that in Italy, in that period, if you wanted to be famous, you had really to work for important magazines that had a lot of comics stripes, and Fellini wasn't afraid even to work for Il Corriere dei Piccoli. Il Corriere dei Piccoli is a magazine for children. So he was very flexible in working also on these topics. After 47, we enter in a more mature part of the production of Fellini, which is the center of an important project, the Book of Dreams. I want to underline that a few years ago we had the possibility to have the Book of Dreams by Rizzoli. You can buy also in Hong Kong. It's in English, so a translation was done very well. And we, as Fellini Foundation, we took part to this project because some part of the Book of Dreams, some drawings were taken away, and we have the privilege to have a few of these drawings in our collection in Switzerland. So if you want to investigate Fellini, obviously the Book of Dreams it's a very important element. You can there are more than 400 drawings, so you can navigate on it, and everything is starting from a collaboration with a very important Jung follower, Mr. Bernhardt. Mr. Bernhardt was a friend of Fellini, and they started together this path. Fellini was not really, the goal of Fellini was not to interpret the dreams. You know, there are a lot of schools where you can try to understand the meaning of your drawing. Fellini was, anyway, starting this friendship with him, and they were working on the idea of having a sort of diary, which was a diary that was very important for Fellini because he would put in this diary also the characters of the movies, the preparation of the setting, the ambience of the film. So for Fellini, the drawings were, let's say, an expression of what he was feeling in a way. And on the other side, a sort of preparation of the characters of the settings of the movies. So it's very interesting, this investigation that he did. It's one of the first movie director who really have had this comprehensive introduction to the film that he did, and you can see in the drawings of the Book of Dreams. To better introduce you the Book of Dreams, I will show you now a very short video, which is a video that I selected. It's quite nice. It's in English, and it's 4 minutes. And I would like you to.
My husband loves.
I would like you also to listen very carefully, because these are really the words of Fellini, and this is really the Book of Dreams, which can be found in a large format, but also small. So I really encourage you to discover this incredible book, and let's see this short presentation about the Book of Dreams.
Fellini movies, and my husband loves Fellini movies, and I love his films, but I need to hear them on mute. It saturates all my senses. I mean, it's bizarre and it's abstract and totally like one of those crazy dreams you've had.
1 second.
But I did.
Stop 1 second. You see, one of the first element of Fellini is caricature on women. You will see a lot of drawings, also erotic drawings. Fellini was famous for that. And so the women are a center of attraction for Fellini. First is Giulietta Masina, the wife, and then Anna Giovannini, the lover. And then you have a series of women that are depicted in the drawings. So this element is very important. I really suggest you to take care of this element of the women. Okay, we can go. Sorry.
No, he had this book. So it was my husband's birthday in November, and I wanted to give him something that he liked. But I decided to Google Fellini dreams to see if there's anything, bridging my taste with Dimitri's, and I found this book. So Federico Fellini, The Book of Dreams, is a gigantic book. And just so you have an idea, it's so big. I had no idea that Fellini was an avid dreamer and that he was interested in Jungian psychology. So in most of his dreams that are translated in the back in a very organized manner, so you can look at what he wrote, what he drew, and then look in the back to see the English version. It's quite impressive. Quote, "When I work, I achieve the most complete realization of myself, truly the right dimension, because it is living and creating at the same time. Yes, it seems to me that my life is entirely based on and lived in order to be told to others, to help me, and to help others. I believe I can say, with complete clarity and honesty, that the purest thing, the most coherent, most faithful ideal is this continuous investigation into myself," end quote. In the early 1960s, under the guidance of Dr. Bernhard, Fellini was introduced to many of Jung's works. It would seem logical in view of this information that 8.5 was not only influenced by some Jungian indoctrination, but that his meeting with Dr. Bernhard served an important element to the film's origination. Specifically, Fellini acknowledged that Jung's theories fostered the creativity within him that the church had tried to suppress in his youth. Quote, "My discovery of Jung was important, very important, not in changing what I did, but in helping me understand what I do. Jung confirmed for me in an intellectual way what I had always felt, that being in touch with your imagination was a gift to be nurtured." From the Filmmaker's Nightmares, a Misleading Masterpath of the Unconscious Mind by Simona Argentieri. There are people who never dream. The ruin of psychoanalysts who try to figure out if they truly experience dreams like everyone else and simply don't remember them due to an emotional repression that resists their therapies. Or if it is the result of a true deficit in the workings of nocturnal imagination. Other cases display the opposite effects. An unstoppable sea of variegated, expansive accounts that broaden the overall length of therapy. In both cases, the interpretive process is checkmated because while it continues to be true, as Freud noted, that dreams are the primary path to accessing the unconscious, it is equally true that this path can be blocked off or littered with an abundance of obstacles. I mean, if you ever come to the end of your life and you have a book like that with all your dream drawings and journal pictures, that's, I don't know, that to me is like a dream come true. And if you ever want to add a book to your library, I highly recommend this one because it really does open your imagination and you take a peek into someone else's unconscious doodles and dreams and thoughts on their own dreams. And I truly, truly feel inspired every time I open it.
Okay, thank you so much. You were listening very carefully. He said therapy. For Fellini, the drawing is a thanks. We can go to the second document of Lynch. Okay, great. So for Fellini, drawings were a sort of therapy. We are very far from the stroke, but we will see that that therapy is going to come back. Is going to come back in 1993 when he was in Rimini in a Grand Hotel. Fellini was brought to the hospital and then he did the rehabilitation in Ferrara. But this is a topic that we discover a little bit later, just to make some connections. Drawings are bringing us to the second level. We organized a few years ago what is our most important and successful exhibition, the one that puts together David Lynch and Fellini. We asked Mr. Lynch to collaborate with us and to make an homage to Fellini, because David Lynch was... Anybody who knows David Lynch? David Lynch. You know David Lynch. Okay, great. Twin Peaks, maybe someone knows more, the young. So we worked with David Lynch. He did 13 lithographies dedicated to the film 8.5. And he never, and before and after that, he even got the Oscar. So it was for us an incredible period to work with an Oscar winner. You can imagine. He really wanted to do that because David Lynch was on the deathbed of Fellini the last days. So he wanted to do this homage. And we see how movie directors are more and more going into art. Also David Lynch is another case. David Lynch, you have to know, is now dedicating his entire life to painting. And lithography and so on. So as you can see, we wanted to put together Fellini and Lynch, but not the movies, but the artworks. So we put together drawings of Fellini and drawings of David Lynch. This was an operation that was quite interesting. No one did that in the past about Fellini. And so here we can see some drawings of David Lynch. Here the photo, original lithography. These drawings are these lithographies are done in Studio Item in Paris. When I talk about Studio Item, I have really to have a big respect, because this place, you enter in this place and is the place where Picasso was working. It's like a temple. When you work there, when you go there, you see all the machines, more than 200 years, where all these artists were working. So if you go to Paris, I really suggest you to go to this place, because you can see, you'll be lucky to see some paintings of Lynch, but also other important painters from all over the world are working in Studio Item in Paris. So this is a very important place to be, and we were working. We were lucky to work with them. As you can see, Fellini. We are now starting watching some drawings of Fellini. There is a big difference between Fellini and Lynch. Lynch has, as you can see, this dark way of interpreting life. It's very anxious, and it gives you really, at least to me, a lot of anxiety. And the drawing is quite also very hysterical in a way. While maybe we can go on. These are all from 8.5, the last part of the movie. We can see 8.5. We can go up. Okay. The women, Marcello Mastroianni. Anybody knows Marcello Mastroianni? No. Marcello Mastroianni was an iconic actor of Fellini, and he was the one that really was not, they say, was not destroyed by Fellini, because you have to know that in many cases, and Anita Ekberg is one of the biggest one. Anita was working for Fellini in La Dolce Vita, and then she didn't do any other movie. She was famous for this one, and then he did another one, Boccaccio, but then yeah. So we have Marcello. Okay, and now we have Fellini. Very interesting. This drawing, look very careful, this drawing, because then we will see this exactly the same drawing, more or less, but in the hospital when he did the stroke, and you will see the difference. So as you can see, we go back to the drawing. Okay. Anna Giovannini. We know that Fellini was having a lot of affairs, and Anna Giovannini was one of the lovers of Fellini. She never was in Fellini movies. there were other lovers of Fellini. Sandra Milo was an actress in the movie, but Anna wanted really to stay on the back. But we know that from the drawings that Anna was, and then from interviews that Anna was a part of his life, and you see basically the most important. Maybe I will show you now. Normally in Fellini drawings, especially women, the body is really the important part, and it's made in a very caricatural way. And what he likes, Fellini, is the body very chubby. You see, not like today that we have the top models, we have very skinny top models. Fellini liked really this kind of the head is always very small, and the legs are always very much this style, very simple, and the heels. So we go to another drawing. These are drawings of our collection. This is very important to know. This is another drawing. Fellini, as you see, was doing a lot with colors, and he did different characters also from fantasy. This is really the only character that Fellini was not doing as a caricature was Mr. Bernhard. Yeah, this is a very incredible case because Fellini had a so big respect for him that he was really depicting him perfectly, like in a painting, and not trying to deform to deform him. Okay, we go to another one. Okay, great. These are preparations for characters. So as you can see, Fellini was preparing the characters before on the paper, and especially one of the point, as you see, the body is always the big part, the nose. Fellini was working a lot on the nose, and here we enter on the movie Casanova with Donald Sutherland, where you have to imagine that Fellini created more than 30 versions of the nose. So he was really, it was a maniac on the detail of the nose. We can go on. Again, another character, erotic design of Fellini. Okay. Another one, as you can see here, again, Anna Giovannini, and the body. It's very prosperous. Also here, another Anna Giovannini. Here, self-portrait. Fellini, we don't have so many self-portrait of Fellini, but this one is very interesting because we see him with a typical coat, and we see him, it seems to be, what is the difference between this one and the one we saw? This is not a caricature. This is not a caricature. We have to wait a few minutes to see the result in Ferrara of what he did. So take a picture of this, and then we see how Fellini see himself after the stroke. So completely another philosophy, another style, another way of interpreting life. Okay, we go on with another one. There are a lot of preparatory drawings, very colorful, that Fellini was doing. These are another self-portrait. In this self-portrait, we come back. It's very similar to Casanova, but Fellini was always thinking that we have a very strong part of us, which is women. We have a women part in our body, and so this is one example of this kind of philosophy. That's why women are so present, so important in the life of Fellini. This one, Anna Giovannini again. Very important, very interesting. Fellini was drawing everywhere in each situation possible. When he was in a restaurant, he was drawing as well on the napkin. And we were lucky enough to get the napkin collection from Mr. Angelucci, who is a screenwriter of Fellini. We acquired this collection a few years ago. We presented it for the first time in Singapore. And you see how spontaneous Fellini is in these drawings, where he was even putting the telephone numbers of other people. And it seems to be that some of these people were called the phone thanks to these drawings. Who are you? I had your number from Fellini drawing. This is really amazing. This is really something incredible, especially when he was the typical situation when he was in Rome at the restaurant. He was always going to the same places, and you have to imagine that Fellini was casting permanently. So there was the formal casting where Fellini was putting an announcement on the newspaper and receiving people every day. But even in the restaurant, Fellini was meeting people. It's important to know that Fellini as a drawer was the fortune of Fellini. You know why? Because one of the meeting in Rome, the meeting of life, was with Roberto Rossellini for Roma Città Aperta, Rome Open City. So this was one of the first meeting between the two. So for Fellini, more and more the drawing were part of his success. Okay. Anna Giovannini. Again, these drawings are in Switzerland. Why these drawings are in Switzerland? Because the assistant of Fellini, Gérald Morin, is from Switzerland. Everybody is always asking. And you have to know that there is another collection of Fellini drawings in Zurich. Fellini was a good friend of the Kehl family. The Kehl family is an old family of editor. They are editor of books, Kehl edition. Diogenes Verlag, this is the edition company, and one of the best in Switzerland. And they have we recently discovered that they have more than 2,000 drawings of Fellini that nobody knows it exists in the past, and they take it in a bunker in Switzerland, in a banker. So my president was lucky to see these drawings. So you have to imagine that apart from the Book of Dreams, which is now located in Rimini, in the museum, a huge part of drawings is actually in Switzerland, in Zurich and in Sion, in our collection. We have more or less 200 drawings of Fellini in our collection. So if you come to our collection, to our archive, you will see these drawings and all the other materials. We can go on. Again, Anna Giovannini, we see how important she was. Obviously, we go up. Okay. As you can see here, and it's an introduction for the next chapter, Fellini really liked to write some words close to the drawings. It's not a drawing like that. It's a drawing with an explanation, with some sentences, which are more or less the feelings of Fellini. And in the hospital period, you will see how these words are relevant and important to understand what was really the feeling of Fellini in that period. And it's very interesting. We discovered it a few weeks ago. We can go on. Marcello Mastroianni, again. Okay, this is David Lynch working in the studio, ETEM Studio Edition. Okay, you see, you enter here and you go back 200 years. You are working with Picasso, you are working with it's an incredible place. When I was there the first time, I was completely blown away. And so, yeah, you see, drawings and paintings of. I know we know the assistant of David Lynch, and he tells me always that Mr. David is waking up in the morning, going back to sleep in the night, and he's always painting. So this is really an example of how he dedicated his life to paintings. We had even the possibility to collaborate because we like this dialogue between different forms of art. We were working as well with another filmmaker, Pedro Almodovar from Spain, world famous for movies who were in Cannes, in Venice, and so on. And we did a photography exhibition with him, and we are going more and more in the direction of a dialogue between different forms of art. And this is very important for us, I would say. We know that Matt Dillon is also an artist. We will continue to work. We will continue to work on this interaction, obviously between Fellini and different artists and movie directors, because Pedro and David Lynch are a very big follower of Fellini in a way. So we like to create these connections. It's really important for us. At this point, there are any questions about what you saw right now? I would like to see what the students. Now you discovered a little bit Fellini. Do you have some questions about the materials that you saw? I would like to have a more interactive session. I like to talk, but I also like to listen to the students and what the students are. Nobody here? Any impression about the drawings of Fellini? Any idea? Any question? What you feel when you see a drawing of Fellini? What's in your mind? No. Difficult. Okay. Maybe later we will do a Q&A session. Okay, let's go to the third block, the catalog. Ok. L'ultima scena, the last scene, the last take. Ok. Okay, let's stop here. This is, as we said before, another example of Fellini drawing of the first part. As you can see, it's very detailed. The lines are very, very thick. The drawing is very detailed. And you will see now the difference between these drawings and the drawings that we had, that we discovered after the stroke. So we were so lucky a few months ago to meet Anna Cantagallo, who was the therapist that followed Fellini for 3 months from August 93 to October 93. So basically 3 months. We know that Fellini had a stroke and he had a paralysis in this part. So basically he was blocked completely on this part. So one part of the body he could not see, and the arm was completely blocked. So for a movie director, you can imagine it was a very big trauma. And you will see through the drawings of August what was the problem, basically. We met Anna Cantagallo. She was spending with Fellini 12 hours a day, and she immediately wanted to establish a different relation with Fellini, not a relation like patient and doctor, but a more deep relation of collaboration. This was the Fellini immediately attitude in that situation. Why? Because Fellini was drawing almost every day during when he was in Ferrara hospital. Why? Because for Fellini, drawing was an escape from the reality that he was living at the moment. As we saw in the video reality. So it was the only way to express himself from an artistic point of view in a situation of stroke, when you are sick in the bed. Normally you think about your life, you think about what you can do, what you cannot do, and what will be the future, and and Fellini was suffering so much because he could not move the arm, but even if he could not move the arm, he was always very satirical, about this. You will see in the drawings. And he always wanted to keep a spirit And this is a very positive and interesting message that he gave us. So even in a period of difficulty, after a stroke, we can imagine, he was always kind with everybody. He was always making jokes. So he was the Fellini, the same Fellini that we know. Thanks God. You have to also imagine that one element of Fellini life and Fellini art is the circus. So most of the drawings and films of Fellini are inspired by the circus. So this chaos, this the little man with the animals that are put in the movie and we don't know why. So we will see also some animals in the drawings of Fellini. So is this chaos that is governing life is an element quite important for Fellini, and we see also in the drawings. Okay, we can start with the drawings of the first period. Okay. This is a very painful drawing. Disintegrated body. This is the first period when Fellini enters the hospital and he realizes that he cannot move, he cannot do anything. And we see that he cannot draw very well. He cannot draw properly. We see some parts here. Basically, in the sheet of paper, in this area, he cannot draw because he has a problem to see, and the perception is called hemiparesi. I don't know in English, but the Italians will understand me. It's a paresis in that part. And this is Anna Cantagallo. In this period, we don't have Anna Giovannini. We don't have drawings of Anita Ekberg, Sophia Loren. We have now the protagonist of Life of Fellini is Anna Cantagallo, which is, as we said, the doctor. So there is a series of drawings of Anna, which is, we will see how Fellini is drawing her. This is autoritratto as Fellini Angelo. Yes, in this case, Anna Cantagallo was depicted as an angel, you know, the angel of Fellini. In that case, trying to treat him for the stroke. We can go on. Other drawing, a person. We see here in that part he cannot really. This is important. Fellini was always asking, am I disturbing you too much? And posso stare qui? Can I stay here? It's written. And this elephant is one elephant of a movie of Fellini. It seems to me, if I'm not mistaken. So we see here some elements of Fellini movies, even in these drawings. And the animal is put at the center of the attention. We remember the whales, the big whales in the movie of Fellini, and animals that are put like that. We go on. Here we have a hand with a flower, sterilized. Copy array. Copy array is a test that this is very was done as a therapy. It's a typical medical test that is done to people who have the stroke, and we were lucky enough to have these drawings from Anna Cantagallo. She was very kind to give us, because you have to imagine we are here in August, so this is really the most critical period of the rehabilitation, the first months. So it's very important. We can go on. Okay, again, the stars, the house, so you can see how he was not able to do part of the, you see here, always white. He cannot really go on. Okay, next page. Again, other houses. Paesaggio. This is very interesting. This drawing is very interesting because how Fellini see women. Fellini sees women sometimes as a gigantic figure. The gigantic woman of Boccaccio 70, Anita Ekberg. We see in Eur area of Rome, this gigantic woman going around, and then in the posters. So one depiction, one representation of Fellini is the women who is judging the man and saying, you have to do that, you have to do this, because you have to imagine that rehabilitation is also quite tough. You have really to follow every day your guide, and it's really, really difficult. And so Fellini sees Anna Cantagallo like the ruler, and he's as the small man, you see, the small man, which lost what? This one. The symbol of 100 years of Fellini is Fellini with this. It was always Fellini who had this. This means the power. Somebody said it was too much to use the logo of Fellini with the stick. There was a little bit of a polemic. And in this drawing, you see how Fellini lost his power. And he is now obliged to be guided by Anna Cantagallo. You see? Okay, this is an important drawing. I told you before about the drawing of a woman. This is almost the same, but he cannot draw the second leg. You see? The body is the same, the butt, but the problem, he cannot really draw the second leg. So it's one dimension. We can imagine that this is Anna Cantagallo. I don't know, maybe not, but in this period we see a repetition of Anna as a character, but here they say Donna, but we don't know, maybe it's Anna. We can go on. This is for sure Anna. Anna Cantagallo, the typical hat of. We see in this period that he tries to be gentle in making drawings of Anna. It's not really a caricature. It's something more with more respect, like for Dr. Bernhardt, more or less. Okay, go on. Great. This is a very rare design of Fellini. He is depicting Italy. And we know that Ferrara, Venezia, Milano, Rome, Palermo. This is a very rare. Fellini was not so much into this kind of geographical drawings in a way, but in this period. Okay. This is another dramatic drawing in a way. Anna is depicted as a bird, and Fellini, you see, he cannot design this part. Help. He needs for help in this period of the life, and Anna is designed as a bird who can help him. You know, so we have here again another interpretation of the role of Anna. Very interesting now, depicted as a bird and not as a normal human being. So you see how the animals are coming back, and these are the animals that are obviously in the Fellini movie. And this is clear, the caricature, not the caricature, the comics with the words into this cloud. This is coming back from the tradition where Fellini was working with the magazine Marco Aurelio in the first period. So what we can say about these drawings? We can say that in these drawings, Fellini is really coming back to the origin of his career. You know, we don't see, like in Libro dei Sogni, very complicated drawings, very colorful, detailed, and so on. These are more, we interpret on the inspiration from the first period of Fellini. So very interesting. Okay, we go on. Okay, some cherries. And Anna again. And the papera. You see, this is evident here. He cannot really work on this part of the page. Again, the animals, and again, Anna, which is designed as a diva on the couch, as a Roman diva. Yeah. Go on. Next one. Pineta, and then other, again, the fruit, the grapes, a map of the city. Very simple. Go on. Go on. Go on. Now, another caricatural drawing of Fellini. We go on to the next part. Okay. Now we are in September. So we are in a period in which the therapy is, or Mrs. Cantagallo is making some effects. But Fellini is still angry. And this is a very typical example. he's really tired, yeah, let's say, of the situation. Another drawing of a woman, very interesting, always the same structure. And this is another interesting drawing here. Casanova. This is basically Casanova. And we have Fellini in the wheelchair. If you noticed, this is the first design where Fellini himself, he designed the wheelchair. So this is the first time. And it's a very comical drawing because we see a diabolic Fellini with the woman on the table as a dish for dinner. And yeah, so the table is there. Very funny, very funny, by the way, and very interesting. Gone. Again, we see again the woman with the stick. See again the woman with the stick, again a woman, again. We see again this part where he cannot. We don't know if it is Anna, but this no for sure. Again, Fellini with the woman with the pig. Okay. Woman in the bicycle, and him, the group. This is this was used in the movie 8½. Okay, we gone. Here, Fellini was playing a game with Anna, FF, Federico Fellini, Virtues, and the contrary, the how do you say, the negative things. So they were playing a little bit. One of the negative things of Fellini, he said, "I'm lazy." I don't know. I don't think Fellini is lazy. And another negative thing Fellini said, "I'm 74." So this is a negative thing. Positive thing, curious, intuitive, and coinvolgente, someone who is able to give enthusiasm to the others. So they were playing to this game. Okay, second one. Anna Cantagallo, these are the negative and positive things of Anna Cantagallo. These are other drawings, more like an exercise, a very simple exercise. Okay, nothing gone. Okay, these are very simple exercise. We can go on very quick. This is interesting because he was trying to walk again, and this is the period where we see that he's coming back to life a little bit. Next one. Again, here, very small drawings. He has always problems. Okay, next one. Again, here we see, we go on. These are fantastic. Dov'è la sinistra? Where is the left? Why? Because he has a paralysis on the left part. Here, another dramatic drawing. The two nurses and Fellini, they are trying to carry him cammino assistito, assisted walk. So these are let's say the most touching drawings of Fellini, where we see the big legs are basically the legs that are not working anymore, that are really almost a weight, really, like a gigantic weight he has to carry every day. And the nurses, who are always very nice and so on. This is Anna. This is our emblem of the exhibition. So we saw how Fellini was self-ironic. Even in these situations, she shows us the pain. She shows us the sickness. It's evident. The legs not working, the arm here. But he's doing that with a sarcastic way. He even in this case, next one. Okay, again the stick with Anna. And here we see that the drawings are thick again. So he wanted in this part to use another style and use another method. This is a nurse with an injection. Yeah. Dottoressa Zurigo. Why Zurigo? Zurich. Because Fellini was before going to the hospital of Rimini and had a stroke, he was operated in Zurich, where he had good friends. As I said before, the Kehl family. So that's why he's referring to Zurich. Next one. Again, Anna. Here, I think it's Fellini, who is in this situation. He cannot move. Next one. Again, a copy array, the exercise. Here is a different copy array because we see now that Fellini can start a little bit design also. This is a leg to start design women in a better way. And he's combining the copy array, which is a typical design that you do in a clinical hospital when you have a stroke, with the erotic design. So he's combining the two. It's very interesting, by the way, combination. Next one. Again, he comes back writing here. Ironic. Here we have Ferrara and Rome, the two cities that are now important for Fellini. Rome represents the cinema, the glory of Fellini, and Ferrara, the possibility to come back to life thanks to Anna Cantagallo and the hospital. Next. Okay, here Anna and Federico. Here Anna is depicted a little bit like Casanova. I don't know why, but and Federico, small, you see, smaller, with the legs and the arm, you see. And this is a typical scarf with the hat of Fellini. Yeah. Next one. Again, SPQR is Rome, and Fellini that loves Rome. He has a big enthusiasm on Rome that is represented as a woman. Okay. Triangles. One of the exercise that Fellini has to do is to design triangles during the hospital period. Again, woman saying, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's very okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Here we and we see in the last period of the drawings of Fellini that we see the evolution of the therapy, and we see how the drawings are much better. You have to know that a few weeks after, Fellini, when you have a stroke, you have basically problems when you eat, and you should not speak and eat at the same time. Fellini made this mistake. He ate a mozzarella, and the mozzarella was blocking here, and he died. He died in Rome for this reason. And unfortunately, in 1993. Okay, now we are at the conclusion. So we had a comprehensive panorama about Fellini drawings. I hope that you will have the curiosity to investigate more about this movie director and about the drawings he made, because it's really one of the few movie directors who use the drawing so well. So I have to say. So now I would really like to have some questions, please. Some questions about. Benissimo, molto bene.
These drawings are really personal and intimate.
Yes. What do you think about these drawings?
It's like they're very beautiful, and you learn a lot about him. But they're very private and intimate. So it was drawings that he was doing for himself, or it was drawings that he was doing to share with other people, because some of the subject are really private.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that he would like to share with people. So what was the main scope of these drawings? For himself or to share with people?
Thank you for this question. Thank you so much. Obviously, these drawings were given to Anna as a present, and in this case, we made a selection. There are some more personal drawings that we didn't show, okay? But as Anna said to me, these drawings were also to show. These drawings were really the part of the therapy. And when Fellini was in Ferrara, he had nothing to hide. You see, he started this path of these 60 drawings like a way to express himself as an artist, as a filmmaker, and we were really lucky to have them because it's really important. But I have to tell you that these drawings were part of what he wanted to show to the world in that part of his life. Yeah, it's a message. It's a message. It's a positive message. Eh? It's a very positive message, because you can imagine when you are in the bed in the hospital, you do a drawing every day. It's really
that's very brave of him.
Yeah, it's
to
the
do it
philosophy
and
of
to
life
share
of
it.
Fellini.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows a difficult part of himself, like a weak moment. Such a powerful man, such a strong man, to share this moment of weakness. It's very strong from him. Very brave. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Another question. I want a question here and a question there. Let's see if anybody a question about or even a consideration about what you saw today. Come on. Somebody. Oh, the lady here.
Yes.
Thank you so
From
much.
his drawings, I kind of feel like it's showing the freedom. Yes, I saw some he wants show us the concept of the freedom.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Fellini has no problems to draw whatsoever. Even in this dramatic period, he's making erotic drawings. Can you imagine? Even in this period where he's in the hospital, he's thinking about women, he's thinking maybe about beautiful women. And so he didn't lose his philosophy of the past, of the drawings of we saw in the Book of Dreams. So yeah, this is very important, and the freedom is very important for him, because, as we said before, he was living in a very provincial Catholic city. So for him to gain this freedom, which was when he was in Rome, where he met all the intelligentsia of cinema and so on, was very important. This part now, maybe we have a question here.
Maybe you just want to share your thinking after seeing the drawings.
So I would like to raise a question.
Yeah.
As we've known, he's both an amazing artist and movie maker. So did he make any reference in his drawings to movie scenes, or like taking reference of the movies he's made into his drawings?
In this moment? Yeah, in this moment, yes, as I said before, there is a strong representation of the animals that were part of the career of Fellini, and he was always inserting these animals even in the most unexpected situations. The women, again, the gigantessa, the gigantic women, we see a lot. Then Casanova. Casanova is another character that Fellini loved so much, and he loved to humiliate him as well. Yeah, there are a lot of references, but I have to tell you, maybe these drawings are more about when he was in the hospital. We see him with the other nurses. Now we cannot publish, but there are some other drawings with other nurses. So we see really how was the relation between him and the doctors, and yeah. But I'm happy to say that we have references to the movies. Yes. Okay.
I think someone.
I don't know if we have time or what. Yeah. There's another.
I don't have any questions, but I would really love to
share my views on it.
Yeah.
So I think it is really motivational for us to see his drawing during his therapy, because like we can actually saw him struggling in his drawing. Like I remember watching the video on YouTube before, and it talks about how the church is trying to spread him when he was younger, but he kept drawing like even though he had a stroke and during the therapy. So it is actually really motivational for people who want to make art and want to appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's really like that. And we had the pleasure to discover these drawings.
Well, you see really the power of drawing, in the life of Fellini, right? And then all these drawings, that Federico Grandesso was explaining to us, really was this last stage of his life, which really excites me, when I was hearing you and I was looking at these drawings, to really go back, to his earlier drawings, particularly this Book of Dreams, which I think our library should have a copy. Or if not, we should actually get one. And it's really wonderful. And I still remember, as a young man, when I first encountered, Fellini, all these great movies. And one of them actually really inspired me was Amarcord.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then my aesthetics of women also was shaped somehow, by Fellini. So I think is really a great lecture today, and it's really our pleasure to have Mr. Grandesso here. And we have a small gift here. This is our department's little souvenir bag. And then inside we have a little book, also publication from the department. And we look forward to the future when we might collaborate with the foundation to do some more publication.
Yeah, I have to tell you something. I hope we have the project to bring these drawings here in Hong Kong. And my goal is to everybody to support me, also the Embassy of Italy, the Italian Institute of Culture, and so on, to support me to make these drawings coming to Hong Kong, because I want this drawing to be accessible to the students, to the critics, to the film lovers. I hope this is my dream right now. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
give our hands once again.
Sure. Thank you.
So this is our the end of our first public